Let's talk about the platform, which is the most crucial element in any vehicle on the road, whether it is electric or not. The platform is what transforms a car into something more than just a metal box on wheels. The platform will ultimately define the performance, efficiency, and manufacturability of any given auto. We as the general public will typically identify a vehicle by the look of its outer shell. For example, the Model 3 Mustang, Daewoo Lineups, all instantly recognizable iconic designs on the outside. 10 years later, Tesla is redefining the electric vehicle platform with yet another fundamental innovation that will change automotive design for the future. This is why they did it. Actually, General Motors invented the skateboard. This is something that Tesla recognized at a very early point in their development of the Model S, and it's something that allowed them to build the foundational platform that would lie at the heart of nearly every electric vehicle to follow the skateboard. By the time the introduction was complete, someone had already written that in the comment section. Yes, that is correct. It's complicated, but I see you, and you're not necessarily wrong or right either. What's the story? General Motors unveiled the autonomy concept car in January 2002. It was a ridiculous hydrogen fuel cell-powered autonomous object with a spaceship-like appearance that would have no mechanical controls for steering, braking, or acceleration. To their credit, GM actually built a car on a hydrogen fuel cell skateboard platform, which is the high wire. However, it didn't look anything like the hyper-futuristic autonomy that the concept depicted. The concept showed a body sitting on top of a fully independent platform that essentially looked like a big skateboard, hence the name. The idea was that you could put any style of vehicle body on top of one common platform. The Top Gear segment showed the body being lifted off the chassis and revealed the functional hydrogen fuel cell skateboard platform. Again, it didn't look anything like the concept design, but it did work, and May thought it was more like playing a video game than driving a car. There is only one high wire in the world, according to James May's report, and GM valued it at 5 million British pounds or roughly 10 million US dollars at the time in 2003. The high wire had a single front axle electric motor that produced 80 brake horsepower and could reach a top speed of 100 miles per hour. By 2010, GM asserted it would create a platform that was commercially viable. GM executives sought assurances from ExxonMobil, the largest petroleum producer in the world, that Exxon would provide customers with the hydrogen-filling infrastructure required for the fuel cell platform to actually become economically viable. But that didn't happen, according to one version of events. ExxonMobil declared no. Unsurprisingly, at the time, gasoline was still cheap as hell, so it seemed foolish to throw money at an alternative fuel. Source: the prices would spike up rapidly in the following years after George Bush and Co.'s botched invasion of Iraq. But they didn't know that was going to happen, so instead of making any attempt to modify the design, like say replacing the hydrogen fuel cell with batteries, GM had a battery-powered electric car back in the 90s that they just threw in the garbage and ignored, which would be the same fate of the hydrogen skateboard. They just scrapped the project and pretended like it never happened until Tesla came along. Then you get people like Joe Biden trying to tell us that actually GM led the electric vehicle revolution. This is the stuff he's referring to. GM had a cool but flawed idea for a battery electric car. They couldn't make it work and they gave up. Then they had a cool but flawed idea for an electric skateboard platform, but they could make that work and they gave up. The second electric vehicle to be featured on Top Gear was the Tesla Roadster in 2008. Compared to the high wire, it provided significantly better performance, but the Tesla lacked many of the futuristic features. The Roadster's platform was derived from a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive Lotus Elise sports car, but is not the same platform. The Roadster only shares about 6% of the Elise components and has a 2-inch longer wheelbase. So Tesla had a unique chassis design, but it was produced for them by Lotus using the same materials and process as the Elise. Anyway, since this was not a fully optimized EV platform, the Roadster battery modules were just stacked up directly behind the front seats in the space where the Lotus engine would have gone. The Tesla electric motor was placed lower down to the rear in the space previously occupied by the Lotus transmission and differential. So all in all, a very cool car, but still pretty far from the viable EV platform. Everything changes with the Model S. Following Elon Musk's master plan, the company was using the money they made from selling the Roadster to design the world's first mass-produced fully electric sedan. To do this, they employed a model called First Principles. Thinking they started with a clean sheet of paper and designed a platform with a battery pack and power electronics fully integrated into the chassis, putting all of the battery modules in one flat layer at the center of the chassis. For the most even weight distribution and the lowest possible center of gravity, then they put a traditional sedan body and frame on top of it so it looked like a normal car on the outside. But on the inside was this battery-powered electric skateboard, and Tesla built more than one. They built thousands of Model S sedans, and then they leveraged the skateboard to build thousands of Model X SUVs. Same platform, they just dropped a different body on top, and the skateboard was designed to be modular. So customers could choose different battery pack sizes, and they could have either single-motor rear-wheel drive or dual-motor. All-wheel drive these days, it doesn't matter what brand of electric car you buy, they are all going to be based on a very similar skateboard platform that originated in the Model S. Unless you buy a hydrogen fuel cell electric car, then you'd be getting the true General Motors original skateboard, but there are only like 2 of those cars in production. Neither even made by GM, and they only really work inside the state of California. So yes, Tesla did not design the first electric vehicle skateboard platform ever, but they did design the first fully functional battery-powered electric vehicle skateboard that was suitable and sustainable for mass production. And it required zero cooperation from the fossil fuel industry to make it happen, and now in their second decade of mass production, Tesla is inventing the EV skateboard platform into something even more efficient, more integrated, and more production-friendly. At the company's Battery Day in 2020, Tesla unveiled the evolution of their skateboard platform, a more streamlined and optimized design than ever before. The structural battery pack is at the center of the new platform. The key difference is that in the Model S, the battery pack is the chassis rather than the other way around. Tesla uses their new large-diameter 4680 battery cells, and they go straight into a big flat metal box along with a cooling system and battery management. Then every empty space left inside is filled with a high-density, ultra-sticky adhesive foam, and the box is sealed up this battery pack. Tesla previously used small metal battery cells and placed them in plastic boxes, then placed those plastic boxes inside a big metal box, then put that inside the frame with the structural pack. The biggest visual difference between skateboard version 2 and version 1 is this. The new platform incorporates the wheel wells and crash rails into the base platform. So instead of having to lower that stuff onto the skateboard and then attach all of the suspension linkages and stuff, everything is now integrated, and thanks to the gigacasting process, the world's largest die casting machines, those front and rear wheels have a lot more bulk, where the old skateboard had the suspension system just kind of sticking up and floating in the air. Additionally, the battery pack is now on the floor of the cabin, replacing the previous skateboard's battery pack, which was underneath the floor. This allows for the installation of carpet, seats, and a center console, further integrating the skateboard with the rest of the vehicle. At this point, all the skateboard still needs are a steering wheel and pedals to be used as a standalone electric vehicle. The third tip, if you will, is to never be satisfied with what you have and to constantly strive for better results from things 1 and 2. This is true innovation, and it is how successful businesses operate. Losers spend $10 million to build a single platform, only to throw it away when the fossil fuel industry won't play along with them. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey into the world of Tesla's groundbreaking battery technology. We hope you've gained a deeper understanding of the incredible advancements that have shaped the future of electric vehicles. Now here's a question for you. What do you think is the most significant advantage of Tesla developing their own battery platform? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video informative and valuable. If you want to stay up to date with the latest tech insights, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for being a part of our community. Your support encourages us to keep exploring and sharing exciting content like this. Stay curious, and until next time, take care and keep dreaming big.